Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Chef Pam and this is Chef'n More. It's getting just a little bit chilly in my neck of the woods, so it's time to make up some soup. Yes! Today we are going to be making homemade potato soup. Cream of potato. Yes! And if you want to learn how to make all kind of homemade food and dishes, the easy and simple way, subscribe so that you won't miss any of my videos and tap that bell so you'll always be notified. We're gonna get started right now. Okay guys, I have 3 Idaho potatoes here and a pan of cold water. You don't need a lot of potatoes. I'm going to make a pot about the size of the pot I have here full of soup. And it's going to make about 4 servings of maybe about 1.5 cups of soup. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the potatoes. I'm actually using my paring knife. Feel free to use a potato peeler. I just prefer to do it with my paring knife as opposed to a potato peeler. But the bottom line is to get this peel off. After we get them all peeled, the next thing that we'll be doing will be to dice them up in bite-sized pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and get all the skin off of the potato. Then once I do, I'm going to put each potato in the cold water while I do the next potato. You always want to have cold water for your potatoes so that they won't turn brown on you. If you just set them down on your counter, your cutting board, in a matter of moments, when the air hits them, they will start to turn brown and then on to turning black. And guys, they turn fast. So by the time I finish peeling these 3 potatoes, if I set this potato down, it would be already starting to turn brown. So instead, we're going to put it in this cold water. Then we're going to go ahead and get all of the rest of our potatoes done. Yes! Okay, I think that's about it for this potato. Yes, put it in the cold water. I'm going to knock the rest of these out. Okay, I've got all my potatoes peeled and into the cold water. So I'm rinsing this water off with a new pan of water so that we can get these diced up. I'm going to dice them on my flexible board so that I can just pour them back into the water. So I'm going to take them out of the water and then get them all peeled up. Rinse this water, get some fresh water in here and add some salt to it. Okay, I've got my fresh water here, guys, nice and cold. And I'm going to add probably about 3 tablespoons of salt to it. You always want to start your potatoes off in cold, salted water, whether you're boiling them for mashed potatoes, boiling them for anything. So I'm going to slice the potatoes right in half. And then I'm going to slice each half into 2 more slices. Turn it on the flat side and slice 2 slices again, lengthwise. Then I'm going to turn it slightly and just slice straight down, getting my slices pretty even. This will ensure that all of my potatoes come out just about the same size because you don't want a big chunk of potato in there and a little chunk of potato. And also, it will ensure that it all cooks at the same time, getting done at the same time. So I'm going to do this half, then we're going to knock out the rest of the potatoes. Now I can just pick my flexible cutting board up and dump them in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get the rest of them knocked out. So now we are all done dicing our potatoes. They're in the cold water, so we're going to boil them on high. Take a look in there. They're all pretty much the same size and they're covered with the salted water. Okay, so next guys, we need to cut up our vegetables. Now I'm going to make this a simple cream of potato soup, so I'm just going to put in carrots and celery. So I'm going to cut this little end off and just dice them up really quick. Again, we want to make sure that we're dicing them in the same size so they'll cook evenly and they'll all be bite-sized when you get ready to eat your soup. So I'm going to go ahead, finish cutting this up. Then we're going to get that other carrot, cut it, and cut the celery. Okay, we've got all our carrots done. Now all we have to do is chop up our celery. Then we have garlic and onion coming up next to chop. So same thing, guys. You just want to make sure that you're chopping your celery in the same amount of pieces each and every time. So now we have all of our carrots and celery cut up. Next, I'm going to get my flexible board back out, and now I'm going to chop up garlic. This is about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. You just want to chop this up really fine because now this time you don't want to bite into a chunk of garlic. So make sure that your garlic is chopped up pretty fine. Just give it a good chop. And then we're going to set it aside, and I'm going to actually leave the garlic and the onion on my flexible cutting board because it'll be easier to add to the skillet of vegetables as we saute. Okay guys, now I have a white onion here. I would use anything but purple because the purple will fade in it, so you could use a yellow onion if you want, sweet onion, whatever you have or whatever you like. So I'm going to just cut 3 slices of onion. This is the easy way to get your onion diced. Just cut it into slices, then cut the slices in half, stack them on top of each other, cut them in half, and then just chop straight down, guys. And your dices are already there. So that's the easy way to get your onion diced up really quick and in a hurry. So we've got this first half all chopped up really well. And again, you don't want too big of pieces with the onion because you don't want to bite into a big chunk of onion in your soup. Go ahead and get this second half cut up. Then we are done and we can head on over. Yes. Okay, onion and celery and carrots and garlic are chopped. Now let's see if our potatoes are fork tender yet. Yes, they are fork tender, so we are pretty much done with those. I'll set them aside while we go ahead and saute our veggies. I'm just going to put about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil into my preheated skillet so that we can saute our vegetables. We need to put in our carrots and our celery first. Give it a swirl, make sure my edges are covered in oil. So you don't want to put in your garlic and your onion yet because that will cook much faster. We just need it to get translucent and we can add it to our celery and carrots. So we're just going to saute this, guys, again until it is fork tender. So I'm going to set this aside and go over and tend to the potatoes. Okay, our potatoes are done and it looks like mine are still boiling to you guys. That's because I'm on an electric stove and unless I move it off the eye, it'll still cook even though I have it off. So I'm going to take about half of the potatoes and put them in my mixing bowl here and we are going to mash them. We're taking half of the potatoes out and we're actually going to mash them. I'm going to blend them up. And after that, we'll be adding them back into the pot. Get them all drained out of there and preserve the liquid that you drain off of your potatoes. You want to make sure that you preserve that liquid, guys, because we'll need that. So I'm going to add about 12 ounces of chicken broth. This is homemade chicken broth, and if you want to know how I made that, the link is up above. And then we're going to add in our potatoes back into that. Then after we get that all done and everything, next guys, we're going to add just a little bit more of the potato water back in just to make sure that it's all covered. Okay guys. Okay, now we can go ahead and get these potatoes mashed real quick. You just want to mash them. You can use a regular hand masher if you want. I always end up mashing my potatoes with my blender because it's simple, quick, and easy. Yes. Okay, get them all mashed up. And what I'm going to probably need to do, I want to make sure that they are good and smooth. So I'm going to actually add into my potatoes that I'm mashing about 2 tablespoons of the actual liquid from the potatoes. So I'm going to make that, put that in the bowl guys so that it can come out really nice and smooth, really nice and smooth. Just blend it up a little bit more. We are pretty much done. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get our potatoes that we just mashed, put these back into the potatoes that were already cooking. Now they are now simmering on low. The mashed potatoes is going to keep the flavor of the potatoes and it's going to thicken your broth. So you don't want to skip this step. It's going to thicken the broth. You'll still have that nice potatoey flavor in there. So you give it a good stir, make sure that there are no clumps in there, that the potatoes that did not stick together, that they're all nice and smooth and your liquid is smooth. As it continues to simmer, guys, it will thicken up. Make sure that your pot is on low during this process because you don't want to bring it to a boil right now. You just want to simmer it and let those mashed potatoes cook down a little bit with the regular potatoes that you still have in there. All right, back to our veggies now. These look like they are ready. They're fork tender. So now I'm just going to add in my onion and garlic. Just go ahead and add that in and give it a stir. And you want to just kind of stir this up until it turns translucent, the garlic and the onion. You don't want the garlic and onion to brown because you don't want to have brown bits inside of your cream of potato soup. I love the colors. I love working with colorful food. So pretty. So just give it some stirs and make sure it's all combined and everything. At this point, you won't have very much oil left in the skillet, and that's good because that will allow us just to put all of our veggies directly into our potato soup without needing to drain it or anything of that nature. Okay, so this looks really good here and it is smelling delicious. I wish you guys could smell it. Yes. Okay, we are just about done here. Then we're going to add the vegetables into the soup as well. So now guys, our soup is back on simmering again on low, and the potatoes that we mashed are all cooked down, and now we're going to add our vegetables in. I'm going to just put them all in, then we're going to give it a quick stir. Okay, all of our vegetables are now in our pot. So I'm going to grab a spoon here, and now we're going to stir it up really, really well. Just make sure it's well combined, and we're actually going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to come back and we're going to add in some sour cream. Yes. Okay guys, that has simmered for about 5 minutes. I have my sour cream here, and I'm just going to add a big dollop. This is probably about 3 tablespoons worth if I measured it in. Give that a good stir. Make sure it's well combined. You don't have any lumps or anything of that nature in there. And then the next thing we need to do is add in our heavy cream. Okay. Okay, so this is looking good. Yeah, so now guys, we're going to add in our heavy cream. I like to add in my heavy cream a little bit at a time just to make sure it's well combined and everything. The heavy cream is going to give it that last bit of richness we need and just a hint of sweetness, just a slight hint of sweetness. And it's going to be nice and thick and creamy. Yum. Okay guys, just make sure you add it in a little bit at a time until it's all gone. This is about 1/4 of a cup of just regular heavy cream. And after this guys, we're going to let it simmer again for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then guess what guys? We'll be all done. Yes, delicious. Just in time for the cool weather. Okay guys, we are all done, and again it looks like I'm boiling over here, but my stove is actually off. If it was a gas stove, when you cut the heat it's gone, but electric stove has to cool down. So I'll remove it from the eye once I fill my bowl. And we have it guys, this is our cream of potato soup. Yes, I'm going to grab me a spoon in a minute here and enjoy. And guys, I'm going to show you how to preserve your leftovers so that you don't feel you have to eat them right away. You can wait a little bit, and on that nice cold weeknight when you need something warm and you don't have time to fix anything, you've got some nice soup all ready to go. And there we have it. Okay guys, look at that. Yum! Cream of potato soup. And guys, as I mentioned before, I preserve my leftover soup for a day in the future. I use glass jars. You can just fill your glass jars up about 3/4 of the way. Then put the top on very, very loosely, barely on. Sit it in the refrigerator until it's completely cooled down or overnight. At that point, you want to tighten up the lid, but not too tight. You still want it to be a little loose. It will need time and room to expand. Once it's cooled down, take it from the refrigerator and place it in your freezer. Then guys, once it's nice and frozen and you're ready for some soup, all you need to do is take it out of the freezer and put it in a pot of cold water. Make sure the water is cold. Take the top off and bring it to a boil and let it defrost. Just make sure it's in a cold pot so your glass won't break. And there you have it. And guys, if you like these how-to videos, please consider supporting me over on Patreon. I have the link in the description as well as right here. Leave me some comments. Tell me if you like potato soup and if you're going to try it. Give me a thumbs up. And you guys know the drill. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so that you'll always be notified when I upload my videos and you won't miss out. I sure do enjoy you guys coming and hanging out and cooking with me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.